So, lads, this is not a great look for the Indiana Fever organization. If you've got Caitlin Clark, the star of the Indiana Fever, she's going and seeing whatever about not seeing the Indiana Fever's doctors. Like, it is what it is with that. It is what it is. Like, I think a lot of players and teams get second opinions. But if you haven't seen here, Stephanie White says there's no update on Caitlin Clark or potential timeline. She met with another doctor, but White says she hasn't spoken with the trainers.
The basketball star who helped reignite Indiana's love for the game has just made one of the boldest statements in WNBA history, without even speaking. Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in women's basketball and a major draw for packed stadiums, has reportedly stopped communicating with the Indiana Fever's medical team following a recent groin injury.
Pretty much kind of leaked out the bag to the team that she was kind of going to get a second opinion. To me, an athlete like Caitlin Clark on her level, she should have been getting these second opinions. She should have been hearing from all these other doctors, man. But Stephanie White spoke to the media yesterday. She really didn't give a whole lot, but she did say that Caitlin Clark was in New York meeting with other doctors. Now, with all of that being said, what does the timetable look like to me for Caitlin Clark coming back? I keep telling y'all, around the 17th to the 30th of August.
Honestly, it was only a matter of time before someone spoke up about how this team has been treating their star player like just another name on the roster. Caitlin Clark isn't just any player, she's a once-in-a-generation talent. So what's really going on behind the scenes at Gainbridge Fieldhouse? And could she already be thinking about leaving Indiana sooner than anyone thought?
She has met with a different doctor. And she won't even give an update to the team. Not, oh yeah, she's met with a different doctor and we're waiting on an update. She's waiting, or not even, well, that's basically it. They're waiting on, she's gone to a different doctor. They've heard nothing.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. When Caitlin Clark walked off the court on July 15th against the Connecticut Sun, clearly in pain and holding her right groin, it wasn't just a routine injury. According to sources, it was the final straw, a moment that's drawing comparisons to the Kawhi Leonard situation, where a star player loses all trust in their team's medical staff.
News: Caitlin Clark. Following a July 15th injury to her right groin, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week. The team can confirm that no additional injuries or damage were discovered through the evaluations. Clark will continue working with the Fever medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation, with a priority on her long-term health and well-being. There is no timetable available for Clark's return, and no additional details will be provided at this time. Any further updates will be shared as they become available. This is a
Clark has now dealt with 4 different muscle injuries this season: a left groin strain, a left quad issue, and now a right groin strain. That's a big red flag for someone who never missed a single game due to injury in college or earlier in her rookie WNBA season. This isn't just bad luck anymore, it's starting to look like a case of poor medical handling.
But the internet noticed something specific that Holly Rowe had to say on the broadcast. Holly Rowe said that before the last return after a quad injury, she had no practice time, which, if that's actually true, like if she wasn't practicing, if she wasn't going full speed, then why was she returning to the court? And that's actually something that I pointed out. I believe it was Scott Agnes reported that Caitlin had gone full speed in practice, but there was only one practice that she had gone full speed, and then she returned to play.
Clip 5. The situation hit a boiling point when Clark was brought back too soon from her earlier groin injury, only to re-injure it just a few games later. According to sources close to the team, Clark told officials, "I'm getting my own doctors. I'm not using the teams anymore." She's since met with outside medical professionals and has stopped sharing updates with the Fever's training staff.
Caitlin Clark's team has made it known we are going to be holding her out until she is fully recovered. We are not going to be rushing her back at all. After taking Indiana Fever's advice, eventually Caitlin Clark needs to take matters into her own hands, make decisions for herself, and I believe that's what we are seeing with the team that she now has surrounding her.
Now let's take a closer look at what the Indiana Fever might not want fans to notice. Clark's injury history this season has been a mess. On May 3rd, she sat out the preseason opener with soreness in her left leg. By May 26th, she missed her first official game ever due to a left quad strain. In June, a left groin injury kept her out of 5 straight games. Then on July 15th, she injured her right groin late in the game against the Connecticut Sun. Finally, on July 24th, the team announced there's no timeline for her return, and gave no further details. In total, Clark has missed 11 regular season games plus the Commissioner's Cup final. That's nearly half the season lost to recurring soft tissue injuries, the kind that often can be avoided with the right medical support and conditioning.
People were speculating that Caitlin Clark injury could be much worse than expected. These type of injuries and the way she's been getting these injuries is not normal to have these strains back to back to back like this. And I said this before, Caitlin Clark mobility is off, bro. I believe she might have came back too fast from the first. We all know the first one went down around the 25th of May. Then she came back and got re-injured around the 4th of July to the 5th, somewhere up in there of July. And then that brings us until now.
But this is where things really start to stand out. Clark went to New York for second opinions, and didn't share the results with the Fever's medical team. Head coach Stephanie White even admitted she hadn't spoken with the trainers about what Clark's outside doctors had found. When your franchise player is making medical decisions on her own and keeping the team in the dark, it's about more than just an injury, it's a sign that trust has completely broken down. When the Fever brought in Stephanie White, fans expected a step up from Christy Sides. White came with serious credentials, WNBA Coach of the Year in 2023, a former Fever player with a championship ring, and a track record of winning. But instead, they got a coach who seems more focused on changing things that weren't the problem to begin with.
The only good news about today is Caitlin Clark is no longer dealing with Stephanie White and these coaches and this Indiana Fever medical staff, trainers, doctors, none of that. She's seeing her own medical doctors, her own team. That's the only good news of today. She has abandoned the Indiana Fever medical staff, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. She's pulling a Kawhi Leonard, what he did with the San Antonio Spurs, letting it be known, hey, look, I'll get back to y'all when I'm ready. I'm going with my own medical staff. Y'all can beat it, kick rocks, and I stand with you, Caitlin Clark.
Here's the hard truth that few are willing to say out loud. Christy Sides knew how to use Caitlin Clark. Sure, Sides had her flaws as a coach, but she understood one key thing. When you have a generational talent, you build your game plan around them. You don't force them to fit into a system that doesn't match their strengths. Sides let Clark be herself. She gave her the ball, let her control the offense at her own pace, and watched the results speak for themselves. Record-breaking rookie stats, a playoff appearance for the first time since 2016, and sold-out crowds in every city they visited. Now, Coach Stephanie White is talking about playing Clark off the ball and using 2 primary ball handlers. That completely misses the point of what makes Clark unique. You don't take the ball out of Magic Johnson's hands because he's being pressured. You don't sideline Michael Jordan because he's facing double teams. And you definitely don't turn Caitlin Clark into a role player just because your system can't keep up with her level of talent.
The problem of this team is Stephanie White. It's Stephanie White. It's not Caitlin Clark. A great player don't all suddenly sucks. That doesn't happen. It's strategic. And everybody's saying that they played better without Caitlin Clark. No. Actually, even this loss, Caitlin Clark gives them a better chance. They're under 500 without Caitlin Clark.
The clearest sign of Clark's frustration came after the Fever's loss to the New York Liberty on July 22nd. Photos began circulating of Clark and her agent in what looked like a private tunnel meeting at Barclays Center, with Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello and stars Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. This wasn't just a friendly post-game chat. When your agent is present and you're talking with another team's coach and key players, that's a serious conversation about future possibilities. And the message was clear: while Indiana continues to fumble its handling of a superstar, New York might already be laying the groundwork for a potential move. Multiple sources now confirm that Clark has essentially cut ties with the Fever's medical team and is working with her own doctors. She's been seeing specialists in New York and isn't sharing any updates with Indiana's trainers. This kind of medical split is almost unheard of in the WNBA, and it's drawing strong comparisons to how Kawhi Leonard's exit from San Antonio played out. Health experts are also raising alarms, pointing out that repeated groin and quad injuries could be signs of poor conditioning programs or subpar rehab.
But this is how it starts in sports. This is how it starts in the NFL. This is how it starts in the NBA. When you start seeing the wheels in motion, there's signs. There's signs before eventually a player gets traded. A player eventually marks their next destination. The Indiana Fever, you're on notice. You're on notice. You better recognize what you've got going on, the asset in front of you, and you do whatever you have to do to correct what is happening.